BJP claims that its office in Arambagh was set on fire. TMC insists they are not to blame for this, and within hours, not one, not two, but multiple incidents of violence, of loot, arson and murder were reported. BJP says its workers are being systematically hunted down and claims that 6 of their workers have been murdered in the past 24 hours, putting out several videos. Mamata Banerjee says that the pictures are old and the BJP has unleashed a rather malicious campaign to malign her party. India Today's Suryagni Roy and Paulami Saha bring you a top story.
After Khela Shesh, it's violence hobe in Bengal. Bloodshed and Badla politics back on the streets of Bengal. BJP alleges its offices were burnt, workers were hunted down and murdered. Even the Home Ministry had to step in, asking for a report. It began Sunday evening when Nandigram's victorious BJP candidate Shuvendu Adhikari reached the counting centre to collect his winning certificate after defeating Mamata Banerjee. He was mobbed, abused and stones were pelted at his vehicle.
Stone pelting that's happening after Shuvendu Adhikari arrived here at the counting centre by TMC Karyakartas. We are standing at the counting centre over here. He arrived here briefly and you can see the TMC party workers over here who've gathered, who heckled him, and he had to leave from the counting centre within minutes.
As the Rapid Action Force was brought in to rein in the mob, more reports of violence started trickling in. The BJP alleged its Nandigram office was vandalized by TMC cadre. Other incidents of vandalism and loot were reported from Balurghat, Kaliganj and Pirtala. Even the party's youth wing, Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad, tweeted its office in Kolkata had been vandalized by alleged TMC goons. BJP has accused the Trinamool Congress of killing 6 of its party workers in the last 24 hours, including the mother of a party worker, Shova Rani Mondal, who it alleges was murdered while trying to save her son.
भय का वातावरण, इससे बंगाल को मुक्ति होनी चाहिए, इसलिए चुनाव हुआ था। और पार्टी जो सत्ता में है वो अभी हाथों पर हाथ बांध कर बैठा हुआ, पुलिस भी निष्क्रिय है। इसलिए महामहिम राज्यपाल के पास हम निवेदन लेके आए थे, उन्होंने स्वीकार किया और योग्य अधिकारी तक पहुंचाने के लिए हमको आश्वासन दिया।
A BJP delegation called on Governor Jagdeep Dhankar to apprise him of the alarming incidents of post-poll violence in the state. Mamata Banerjee, meanwhile, dismissed BJP claims as old video.
They are giving some photographs that is old one. ये उसका habit है. I don't like any violence or anything. But why BJP is doing that?
Mamata, however, appealed to her political workers to maintain peace and calm.
সকলের সামনে আমি একটাই কথা অ্যাপিল করব সবাইকে, আমার সকল ভাই বোনেদের, যে বাংলা শান্তিপ্রিয় জায়গা, সংস্কৃতিপ্রিয় জায়গা, সম্প্রীতিপ্রিয় জায়গা। নির্বাচন হয়েছে, নির্বাচনে হার জিত হয়েছে, আবহাওয়া গরম হয়েছে, কখনো কখনো আবহাওয়া ঠান্ডা হয়েছে এবং বিজেপি অনেক অত্যাচার করেছে, এটা আমরা জানি। সেন্ট্রাল ফোর্সেস অনেক অত্যাচার করেছে, আমরা জানি। তা সত্ত্বেও আমি সবাইকে বলবো যে শান্ত থেকে যেন আমরা কেউ কোনো ভায়োলেন্সে না জড়াই।
The BJP claims that 6 of their Karyakartas have been killed by Trinamool goons. The Trinamool also claims that some places the BJP also attacked some of their workers. Now in this blame game, Mamata Banerjee has 2 heavy tasks to be tackled. Firstly, as she said, she needs to tackle how the COVID situation can be under control, and she needs to also tackle how the violence can be stopped.
Didi has won a massive and a historic mandate. But with great power comes greater responsibility. As TMC workers allegedly embark on the path of retribution, it is for their leader to ensure that every citizen of the state feels safe.
And joining me on India First are Amit Malviya, BJP's Bengal co-in-charge and head of the BJP IT cell, and Riju Datta, spokesperson of the Trinamool Congress. Riju Datta, Swapan Dasgupta has just tweeted that there's an alarming situation in Nanur in Birbhum. More than 1,000 Hindu families are out in the fields to escape the mob. He alleges that there is violence against women and worse, and wants central forces to be pushed in. BJP also says 6 of its karyakartas have been killed in the past 24 hours, sir.
Gaurav, first of all, I want to tell you, when TMC has won, and they have won in an unprecedented way, I think BJP should introspect rather than going on this negative narrative. When they still peddle this narrative of Hindus being attacked and all that, the result shows that the Hindus voted for TMC, and they have completely disregarded the subaltern Hindutva narrative of the BJP. So they should find some grace in defeat and not be the definition of losers. The constitution and the democracy has won, and people of Bengal have rejected the BJP's manifesto.
Sir, is there this violence happening in Birbhum or in Nanur as we speak, as is the allegation of Swapan Dasgupta?
Gaurav, I will categorically tell you, we do not support violence. We condemn violence in any of its form. My Supremo has said that we will not allow any violence in the state. But you also have to understand, and I will just refresh your memory a little bit and your viewers, that when the BJP candidate list was declared, BJP offices were burnt and broken that time, and the fight was between the old BJP and the Tatkal BJP. They should introspect why this is happening. Our people, our only priorities now is COVID, and COVID. Our people are working. I am working tirelessly just for bed admissions and gathering oxygen for our people. Our cadres do not have time to go and beat up these BJP people. They should stop their infighting, and they should stop their fake news factory of peddling old.
Before I bring in Amit Malviya of the Bharatiya Janata Party, I want to quickly bring in Polami Saha for the latest on this. Polami, what Swapan Dasgupta has just tweeted out sounds very alarming if that's truly the situation on ground, because the TMC is denying that this is happening, and they say that the BJP is only taking that narrative forward despite losing the election. Is there any evidence in terms of pictures or videos that show what's happening on ground?
Well, as specific to the Nanur incident, Gaurav, we are trying to, of course, collect images. These are allegations which have been leveled, very serious allegations that by the Bharatiya Janata Party. But other images of violence, of loot, of arson, of vandalism have emerged. Definitely, especially from Nandigram. We saw the visuals of the BJP office in Arambagh being set on fire. Like I was saying, in Bolpur, in Balurghat, also the incidents of political killings from various parts of the state. The governor says, the BJP is of course saying 6. The governor has said 9 such incidents have come to his light, come to light as far as he is concerned in terms of political killings. He sought a report. He summoned today the DGP of the state, the Commissioner of Police, Kolkata, and he is also sought a report from the state ACS home as well. And we also know that the MHA has sought a report from the state government as well. So immediately, these reports have to be made available. And clearly, law and order today, of course, the chief minister said that is not under her purview at the moment until she takes the oath on the 5th of May. But clearly, something which will have to be one of her focuses, given that COVID needs to have all the attention and not the apparent lawlessness that we're witnessing in the past 24 hours, Gaurav.
Riju Datta, Babul Supriyo says BJP lives are being lost in TMC celebrations. Babul Supriyo has shared videos of the violence. He shared video of the arson. There is video evidence that BJP claims that its offices are being set on fire, or Shubhendu Adhikari's car being targeted, or journalists being heckled allegedly by TMC workers and supporters.
Gaurav, first of all, I will remind you that Mamata Banerjee is the only chief minister in the state who today declared journalists as frontline COVID warriors. And even in Nandigram during the election day, where the journalists, and you know Paulami, I know Paulami personally, she has ran through the length and breadth of the state covering the election. When journalists like her were heckled in Nandigram on election day by the BJP goons, it was Mamata Banerjee who's raised this issue to the press. Basically, BJP is nothing but a bunch of sore losers who is peddling this narrative of violence now because they have lost all footing. The people of Bengal have booted them out, and the press is gobbling it up because it is masala news. But the bottom line is,
far more serious than masala if true. Sir, this is far more serious if women are being molested, if allegations of rape, arson or murder, if 6 of BJP karyakartas or any 6 people have been murdered, it is very serious business.
Gaurav, I will ask you one question. You know, Nadda ji is coming to visit the families of the deceased BJP karyakartas in Bengal. When Hathras happened, Bulandshahr happened in their own states, own run states, did they go? Did the Home Minister have the courtesy to drive 30 minutes to Singhu border where 300 people lost their life? So these dramas, these cheap gimmicks, see, every death is mournful. Violence will be is condemned by the TMC. Okay, that is all there. But this drama of Nadda ji coming and doing all this after they have been booted by the people of Bengal is a shameful narrative by BJP that they are trying to peddle now. And now apparently they are going on a national dharna when Mamata Banerjee will swear in as the chief minister for the 3rd continuous term. Can you imagine? You should see you are such an esteemed journalist, you should see the bigger picture at play. They're trying to demean and malign the image of Mamata Banerjee because they cannot accept the fact that after being so heavily invested, Mamata Banerjee has defeated Mr. Narendra Damodar Das Modi. And that's the bottom line.
Sir, at this stage, violence, if true, is a cause for very serious concern. Kailash Vijayvargiya, BJP is in charge of Bengal, has also put out videos. He's given details and he's saying that not only have, 9 karyakartas been killed, but 4,000 homes. That's the figure that the BJP is putting out. Homes have been targeted. Now, Mamata Banerjee says Rajdharm is being followed. But on ground, is Rajdharm being followed? Riju Datta.
Gaurav, again I will tell you. First it was 6, then it became 9, now it has been 4,000. Tomorrow probably it will be more than the COVID death numbers of this country. So this fake news factory has to stop. Again I'm saying, people who are implicated in this violence, BJP, if they have any problems, they should file an FIR. The law will take its own course and all perpetrators across political colors will be punished for whatever they are doing. If BJP is involved in this infighting, they will be put behind bars. If they are remotely related to TMC, which they are not, the same action will be taken against them. But
as I try and reestablish that link with the BJP, I also want to bring in Paulami Saha for more information that is coming in, not just in terms of violence, Paulami, but also in terms of action that the BJP intends to take, with JP Nadda being there for the next 2 days. Merit in the BJP, in the TMC, saying all of this is just an attempt to malign a woman chief minister who's actually being sworn in for the 3rd time, and that too with a record mandate this time.
Right. Like we've been informing our viewers, Gaurav, JP Nadda has just informed that he will be, in fact, in West Bengal over the next 2 days, starting tomorrow, in order to protest the killings of his party workers that he blames on the Trinamool Congress. He will be visiting the families of the victims of these political killings, alleged political killings, and also, the BJP will be protesting. Mr. Nadda himself will be protesting in Kolkata against these incidents of violence which have been reported from the state of West Bengal as the results, of course, came in yesterday. Clearly, the BJP and the TMC are engaging in a blame game at the moment, but, at a time when the priority should be something else altogether. The priority should be the pandemic, which stares Bengal in the face. The fact that Bengal continued with election campaigns, the fact that, there was no sort of subsiding in the numbers as these campaigns went on, and in fact there was only a spike, and we see those numbers spiking when those numbers come out in the West Bengal Health Bulletin every evening. We just know the kind of scare that the state will get. There is a partial lockdown at the moment. But is that going to help? We do not know, because the numbers continue to go up as testing rises. So clearly, that should be the priority. That unfortunately is not the priority. And over the past 24 hours, what the governor, who's managing things as far as West Bengal is concerned, is pressed with is the state of lawlessness in the state of West Bengal, meeting with the DGP, the Commissioner of Police, Kolkata, the ACS home. This is what has become priority at the moment.
We will continue to track developments on this story very, very closely. A quick break at this stage. Violence is extremely unfortunate, especially at a time when everyone says India now needs to fight the COVID-19 pandemic and needs to fight this pandemic together.